sit down.
Luke Henry, after kicking Monarch's ass to the depths of space, is back on Earth, and now he's looking to save the world from the Fourth World Foundation. Sure, he had help from Penumbra before, but she's not helping him this time. He's got to face it on his own. Look at these four people. He's coming for a villain known as Adonis. He'll do it. You'll be there. Back it now. First Man 2, Learning Curve. Well, good morning, everybody. How are you? It is a Monday. It is sunny here. Oh, thank God. Sunny D. I need that vitamin D to course through my veins. You can see it on my face. I got a window right in front of me. I am pale as pale can be. Can't wait for the summertime. Go catch some tans. Who am I kidding? I don't tan. I burn. AJ's in the house. What is up? You're going, what's up with that camera positioning? It's a little different. That's because, as you can see right here, I've got this camera facing down. You could call this a live book look, if you will, because we're going to be looking at some books. I've got the camera facing down. And before I drive my daughter off to work today, I thought I'd pop in. What did you just say that you need D? Vitamin D. You sicko. What's up, Marcus? Getting ready for work. Me too. So I'm going to go through a few books. Superman Radio Shack. Supergirl. Don't worry, you'll get a better view of these when I switch cameras. Supergirl Honda. And another Superman Radio Shack. I know the artist on one of these. I don't know him on both. Welcome. I'm a radiating sunshine is what's happening. Some person. Hello, everybody watching. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching this later on a replay, please hit the like button, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. So when I go live, you can join me live and we can have a conversation between me and you one-on-one personally. Ask me questions. I don't mind. I'm going to switch the camera around and let's look through some funny books, shall we? Hold on. I just want to get them in a specific order. I'm stealing EVS's trademark. Yeah. No, it's just this lighting. Who knew it would be so intense like this? Just wait until we move the clocks forward and spring ahead. Then it won't be so light out, probably. All right, here we go. First up, we've got Superman compliments a Radio Shack. They still do comics like this. They don't do them as much anymore. Unfortunately, every now and then DC puts out a big movie and IMAX. They'll hand out a Justice League I got. They also did a Suicide Squad, but those were reprints and not new stories. I think these are great because these are new, specific to the brand. Zombie Noir, good morning to you, buddy. All right, so this one first. This one I really like. I actually found out I have 2 copies of this one. I've got one in nicer shape, and then I've got this one, which is kind of beat up. So this cover looks like it's drawn by Ross Andrew, who did a lot of Superman covers back in the day and things like that. Of course, you'll know his name from Superman versus Spider-Man, the one DC Comics put out. And then John Buscema did the one Marvel put out. Inked by Dick Giordano. That's who it looks like inked this cover. On the inside, this first page, I'm not quite sure who drew this first page. It does not look like the artist that's credited in the book, but it also doesn't look like Ross. So I'm not quite sure. It actually, you know what? I think this first page is Ross. This looks very Ross Andrew to me. This kind of does actually as well, the way some of the muscles attach. Dick Giordano inking for sure. Setting up the story. That plane's going down. Superman must save the day. They are rocking their TRS-80 computers. You know, those things are super powerful. Don't be jealous. You wish you had one. Oops, sorry about that. Just knocked the camera. Okay, so inside of this book, might be hard to read, is credited to writer Carrie Bates. I actually got to work with once. Art by Jim Starlin and Dick Giordano. Now, if it didn't say Jim's name in this, there are only a few instances in this book that I could point out that it's actually Jim Starlin from some trademark things he does in his artwork. Nothing on this first page screams of Jim to me. I'm thinking Jim just did the layouts and Dick did the finishes. This first panel, I got to be honest, I don't know if Klaus Janson, this is 1980, was assisting Dick on this stuff or not, because this first panel, especially in the face, screams of Klaus Janson to me. This looks more like Dick Giordano inking. I don't see really any Jim Starlin in that, though. Excuse me, you can't see the cord, but there's a cord. Right? Nope, you can't see it. There's a cord there, though. Actually, you can see a little tad of the cord, it looks like. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you can. I wonder if I can get this out of the way. There we go. AJ says, wow, I'm currently reading Dreadstar, and that does not look like Starlin. Well, it is 42 years old. So here we, have some more stuff just, in a classroom. This definitely has the hallmarks of Dick Giordano's inking in regards to, I've brought this up on previous streams, this bold outline on the top of the head, nice thin wispy lines inside for the hair. The way the eyes are done definitely has the hallmark of Dick's inking. Look at this. You feel like you're Superman flying into the scene here. The hands out in front. Oh, look. Do they have a special guest? Do they? Let's turn the page. Oh, there he is. Now this panel right here is Jim Starlin looking to me. I guess this is a I don't know if this is what I love about comics back then. You don't worry about things like, how is this toolbox attached? Is it attached to a belt? Is it magnetic? Is it just going in the slipstream? I think it's called, of Superman's flight. But anyhow, back to how I know this is Starlin. Jim has a specific way he does abdominal muscles, and it shows right here in these abs. The one thing missing is the center line down to split the abs in half vertically. But that's definitely how Jim does abs. Other than that, the rest of this page, I wouldn't have a clue. I wonder if Dick was inking this at Continuity Studios, because this has a little bit of a Neil Adams influence right here. Not much of a Jim influence, but once again, we've got the abs. That's the way Jim does his ab muscles. So kind of a Jim face right here. I'd love to know, actually I should ask Jim if he did just layouts on this job or not. Still really nice storytelling. I tell you, if I got this for free from Radio Shack, I'd be like, Dad, let's go to Radio Shack every month. Look at these big servers back then. Look at that. The insides of this huge 30-ton super brain contained 18,000 vacuum tubes, 70,000 resistors, 10,000 capacitors, and 6,000 switches. Input and output were by punch cards, which were used to get a printout of the answers. Oh, computers back in the day. Here's a great money shot of Superman right here. Very, very Jim Starlin with the proportions here. Like I said, if you look at Jim's work, you can see how this is the hallmark sign of how Jim does a rib cage. Jim does a longer set of abs coming down like this. He usually does a center line. That's why I'm thinking that Dick Giordano inked over Jim Starlin's layouts, because when you ink over layouts, it's up to you to decide how much you want to put in of the artist's work. So I'm thinking Dick just kept it simple. These legs almost have kind of a Neil Adams feel. That's why I wonder if Neil did anything on this stuff. I'm not sure. I love the old leftover lunar module there. This is original art that I would love to know what happened to. Another reason I think Jim only did layouts is because this face right here really looks, you know, more Dick Giordano. I don't see any Starlin in that face. Don't see a lot of Jim in a lot of this stuff. Some of the bigger shots you will. But look at this, teaming up with Radio Shack. This looks like it. A lot of this last panel here looks like it was photo referenced. Same with these three guys. Look at these three guys. That looks photo referenced. If you don't know where that reference I just did came from, go back and watch the beginning of this video. Here we go. Now this Superman figure right here screams of Jim Starlin to me in the pose and everything. It's weird how when Dick inked it, he went with a center line and didn't do any horizontals to split the abs. And there are still some hallmarks that looks like a little bit of Klaus inking in here as well. This looks kind of Klaus Janson-y. So does this little face. So I'm just curious if they jumped around like that. AJ says the original art to that is probably languishing at the bottom of Albert Moy bin. Albert has a collection, that's for sure. Marcus, why would DC get Jim Starlin to draw this? He was a big name. He was a big name in 1980. Why not? I mean, you got to think about it. 1980, as far as I remember, that was still before royalty checks and stuff. So you were just working for page rate. And, you know, this job might have paid better than regular DC page rate, being more of a quote unquote advertising type job. These were probably sweet gigs to get because they probably did pay better than just standard page rate. And Jim was, you know, probably like, yeah, I'll take that. This is really Jim to me, this figure right here. These kind of are. This definitely is. You never really find out what happened to that plane going down. I think that was just an introductory thing. Like, this is what Superman does. He saves cities from planes. Unless we're getting into it here, because we haven't seen the villain yet. This figure here does remind me of Jim's stuff. Like I said, I'm really thinking Jim only did breakdowns on this stuff. And I'm thinking he only did breakdowns because it was one of those things where they were like, hey, we have to get this job done quick. And maybe Jim was in the office. I mean, a lot of stuff like this too, you just don't know. Jim could have been up at DC walking around the office and somebody said, "Hey, we got this gig. We need somebody. Hey, Jim, want to do this?" So you never know. Kind of a Neil Adams feel there. This has a real Jim Starlin feel right here, this panel. Even that face does. A lot of the female faces on this woman here really remind me of the way Dick Giordano was drawing women or drew women. What I like about this, it's printed on newsprint. It's kind of crunchy. You can kind of hear it. It's a little crunchy feeling. Old school computer stuff. Great Krypton, what's wrong with my head? It's as if my thinking processes are fuzzed over with static. I can barely read that static. Oh no. Total Jim Starlin pose here. Arms down like that. Seen that done by Jim a few times. Getting to the end of the book. Oh, finally we introduced the villain. This is totally how Jim draws people sitting in chairs. Leaning forward, total Jim Starlin pose. Same with the tech. AJ says, I really miss Jim's work. Was he ever able to draw again after his hand injury? Yeah. The Dreadstar stuff, Dreadstar Returns, is all done after his hand injury, because I remember when he hurt his hand, we were talking and he was thinking about just writing it and having somebody else draw it. And I remember him asking if I'd have any interest in Dreadstar, and I was like, oh, heck yeah. And then I think he even floated one time we were talking, possibly Alan Davis. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But I think that's what he said one time. And then I guess his hand got to the point with just practice and stuff of being able to draw. So he drew it. This reminds me a lot of Klaus in that face. Still, I love it. You still got some nice big shots of the characters here. The other two comics I'll show, I don't actually know who drew those. I don't know if they're credited. Once again, hallmark of Dick Giordano, the way he does hair. This is all brush inking up in this business. Love that stuff. Growing up, of course, I thought this was a lot of pen. And then come to find out it was more brush. Stupid cord hanging down. Really, Jim Starlin looking here. These faces, look, this is another reason I think Jim only did breakdowns, because the faces really ring more of Dick Giordano's drawing style than Jim's. She's like, you saved the day. Definitely Superman had a specific look back in the 80s. And, with Kurt Swan being the main guy at the time, and Neil having done that spectacular Superman Muhammad Ali, I think when it came to the faces, they definitely wanted them to have a certain look and feel, be on model. This reminds me a lot of Klaus as well. I could be 100% wrong. Klaus could be like, I didn't touch that book. That is all Dick Giordano. You just never know. And, I love this stuff too, because back then it's a stormy day. You got to draw the storm clouds. And with today's technology, when it comes to coloring, you could have just drawn this figure Superman and told the colorist it's supposed to be cloudy and lightning, and the colorist would have done it. And I love this stuff. It's like, no, this is on the original art. If this was just left up to the colorist and you got the original art, you'd have no idea it was a cloudy, thunder booming day. Here we go. Finally, back to the plane that's coming down. Dun, 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 dun. Sweet little Superman figure there. Superman's going to save the day. Oh, yeah. Brings that plane down. This is a total Jim Starlin figure right here. So is this one. So you can definitely point out and see some of Jim's work in this, even with Dick's sweet ass ink line finishes. Total Jim Starlin figure here. But once again, just the way the blacks are spotted right here on his rib cage and stuff. And this looks more Klaus to me, inking wise, than what Dick does. So I don't know. Keely Chow, what's up? Good morning to you. Hail Comicsgate, everybody. And that's it for this issue. And then, of course, you got to end with the sweet Radio Shack ad. Last year, this boy got into computing with the Radio Shack TRS 80. This year, he's a part-time computer consultant. Ralph, we should go onto Facebook, Google search, see if we can find Ralph and see what he's up to now. 40 years ago, he looks like he's about 18, 19. So dude's pushing 60. Fort Worth, Texas. Ralph, this is the days of your life. So there you go. There's that one. Let's look at the other Superman one, because that's what's on my stack. This sweet, sweet cover by Ross Andrew. Well, Klaus had been working with Dick in the same studio or in a DC office. Maybe at Continuity, Neil Adams studio. He could have been up there. So a lot of people were working through that studio back in the 70s, early 80s and stuff. So maybe there. Love this cover. I love Ross Andrews stuff when it's inked by Dick Giordano. Ross, of course, teamed up a lot with Mike Esposito. But when it was at DC, it was definitely more Dick Giordano doing the ink. I think Danke nailed it. Ralph is probably a coked up tech billionaire now. That seems about right. Maybe not coked up. I don't want to get sued, but maybe a tech billionaire. Plus, Ralph, if you're watching, you want to invest, First Man is always looking for investors. And we can do stuff like this. Love this whacked out perspective. Like the perspective going up is fine, but this totally messed up. It should cut down here more. All right. I don't think this one gives credit. Oh, Supergirl's in this one. Oh, it does give credit. Kurt Swan, writer Carrie Bates again. And Kurt Swan pencils. Vince Coletta inks. Love me some good Vince Coletta. Yes, there's such a thing as good Vince Coletta. See, this is the stuff. I'm so glad. If you go to my website, andysmithart.com, under advertising, I've got to draw not licensed characters with products, but I got to make up superheroes for some companies and do stuff like this. But it was business to business, which means the public never saw it. Bust Insider. Nice. You got me. Damn it. At least I don't mind that one. How you doing? Hope everything is great. Dude, you totally got me. Oh, man. Killy Chow says it. Please back First Man so Andy can have a drink on you. Exactly. Let me see something here. There we go. Link is in the description, and the link is right there. So thank you. I like, Vinny Coletta would get a bad rap, but talking to Jim Shooter at a con last year, he said Vinny would always come through in a pinch and do a solid job. I like Vinny. I think this job looks pretty nice by Vinny. Teams up Superman and Supergirl. They have pockets in their capes holding stuff. Ooh, look at that fancy calculator. It's a TRS 80 pocket computer. Whoa, pocket computer. See, I see stuff like this, and it makes me want to go to eBay and search it and see if I can find one cheap just to see what it can do. Ooh, look, she should spell out boobies right there. 80081. What would it be? Not 3. 4 5 maybe. Boobies. I don't know. Vinny has the thing too where he does a nice thick outlines on the hair and then nice wispy lines inside. He always does eyelashes very well. Kurt, of course, draws I got to admit, growing up, I like Kurt Swan, but I didn't love Kurt Swan. But as an artist and learning, I love Kurt Swan's work. He drew the Superman build that if you look at bodybuilders and stuff from the 50s and 60s, that's the way Superman was built when he drew him. And I love it. Look at that. He's just beefy. He ain't thin. What's up, Devil Flyer? Hail, Taxi Man. That's right. I will be taxiing my daughter to work in a little bit. Pretty women's faces here. Love this shot of Superman right here. That is so cool. Jim Shooter is a fascinating guy. There's a 7-hour interview with him on the YouTubes. Oh, sweet. Oh, Keely Shaw says, I know another Vinny who's pretty talented. His name is Vinny Tartamella, and he has a YouTube channel called Vinny Art. Vinny Art is cool. He's a cool cat. I like Vinny. Love this figure here. Just classic. Is it super dynamic? No. Would Neil Adams have drawn that more dynamic? Yes. He would have had more in perspective coming at you. But you know what? I still think that's really cool. Thick-chested Devil Flyer. Kurt Swan drew Superman for over 39 years easy. He did draw him for a long-ass time. I mean, you're right. I don't know how many years for sure. I have a book on Kurt Swan. I'm sure it's in there. But probably from, let's just say flat up, 1950 to 1986, when Byrne took over, that's 36 years on one. I mean, that is awesome. Good morning. What's up, Dr. Mask? Hail me, hail chat. They would have Kurt redraw stuff. Yes, he is. Vinny is Comicsgate. They would have Kurt redraw faces and Murphy Anderson and stuff as well. Yes, behind that big door is Lex Luthor, the smartest man in the world. Beautiful face right here. Has that nice ink line I was talking about. Nice, thick, gives it volume. Doing a thicker line like this just gives it weight. And then you contrast it with thinner lines on the inside. Good stuff. Good stuff. She's like, look what I'm doing. And just so you know, that's a TRS color computer. Ooh. Bustin says, I'm not going with that last one. I can't wait to tell Dennis you busted me out and got me again. I love the retro style render. So do I. I got to admit, guys, I wish I could have had a Joe Sinnott, a Vinny Coletta, Mike Esposito, Frank Giacoya, guys like that. I would love to have had them ink something over me. I did have Ernie Chan ink a cover over me, over my breakdowns. A sad story behind it because I don't have the original art to that cover as I should. But the whole reason I had Ernie ink that cover over me was so I could get the original back. And without going into too much detail, I do not have the original, but I'm looking for it. And I would love to buy it from whoever owns it. 86555-1213. 5551. It's good to know that even back then for fake phone numbers, they'd throw out the 555. So Dr. Mass says we actually had the TRS 80s at my school. We called them trash 80s. Oh, we probably had them at my school as well. This is when I was, I was in middle school at this time. If this is 1980, I have to see what year this one came out. I went into high school. I was a freshman in high school in 1983. So, but I love these books. I still try to find these at conventions to buy and stuff. Very pretty face here. I also love just the stylization of the nose. Nice little tiny nose right there. I mean, sure, her are basically the same face with different hairstyles. But yeah, what are you going to do? Oh no! Supergirl's font. Whoa! I gotta read this. $5 super chat from Matt Hemp. Thank you very much, Matt. I really do appreciate it. Love Kurt on Legion, but no, a lot of great artists worked on that. Shame they never knew what to do with the team. I agree. In fact, I was looking at some Legion of Superheroes stuff from the 80s last night, drawn by Steve Lytle. So I really enjoy Steve Lytle on Legion. And then Steve went and did Doom Patrol 1 through 5. And then issue 6 is when Eric Larson took over. So I want to get those first 5 issues drawn by Steve. Oh, read your super chat. Sorry, I meant to do this. Andy still looks back on high school Pinto with fond memories. My dad had a Pinto when I was growing up. So there. So on this one, whereas Jim Stardom looked like he traced a photo of these 3 guys, this one they said, we'll just pop a photo in. I think Kurt probably could have traced that off in a few minutes, still made it look cool. AJ says, got to drop out. Have a great day. You have a great day too, AJ. Kurt Swan was awesome on Legion. He was. I loved. There's a few issues of Superman that Dick Giordano inked over Kurt that I love. Of course, Swanderson, Kurt Swan, and Murphy Anderson worked together quite a bit. Beautiful stuff. Murphy was a fine artist by himself, but him inking Kurt. And then in the 80s, there's a few issues of Superman Al Williamson inked over Kurt, which are just, toot sweet, fantastic. Look how small this little chipboard is. They can go through the head of a needle. Look at that. That's something I've never drawn. 31 years in the comic book industry, I've never drawn something like that. Oh, did they shrink down? I just don't know. It's like the movie Big, walking over keys, except these aren't piano keys. All right, we need to see some more Superman stuff. I'm getting a little bored with this story. Hi there, I'm your TRS-80 Model 3 microcomputer. You gotta love this. This is back with hand lettering. Everything was hand lettered, so this was hand lettered. Unfortunately, the letterer, it would have been tougher to letter this in perspective, so it's kind of flat. He did his best, though. Of course, in today's world, this would look like it's really on a computer screen with digital lettering. I drove my mom's Pinto wagon through high school. Yeah, we had a Pinto wagon. We didn't have the hatchback. We had the wagon. I think it 4-door, I think. This whole comic book is an ad, Danky. This is Superman and Supergirl. It's a Radio Shack comic. It was a giveaway. Cool shot of Superman here, but I tell you what, I love this. Nice establishing shot of a room. Just very cool, different pieces of furniture and stuff. And the thing is, if you walked into a room that had a light blue floor with purple couches and this color in real life, you'd be like, ooh, who's the interior designer of that? But in comics, it just works. It works so well. Supergirl looks like she was kidnapped. Love this stuff. Ooh, that looks like a fancier computer. Nope, it's still a TRS-80 color computer with a telephone to boot. Oh, did you really? Devil Flyer, I had 3 pages of ISIS from Filmation Action Show that was inked by Vince. Oh, I hate the fact that the second word in your sentence is had, because that means you don't have many more. That would have been nice. I have the first issue of ISIS in a rather garbage shape, but it's complete, and it was inked by Vince, if I remember correctly. Oh boy, here we go. Danky says, there are 2 kinds of people in the world, Pinto wagon people and Pinto hatchback people. Well, if you're a family, it's the Pinto wagon. If you're just a rolling single, it's the Pinto fastback, hatchback. Superman flying in, very cool. Flying out, another buff shot there. See, all it would take for Kurt to bump his stuff up is if these hands were a lot bigger to really push the perspective and put that camera in your face. Devil Flyer says he paid $5 a page back then. Oh, that's like John Burns selling his X-Men pages for $20. That's painful, considering what they go for now. Look at that car. Here we go. Classic stuff here. Once again, he could have really forced the perspective here with bigger hands on both of them to really push the perspective, get it in your face. And we end here, the end, with Superman and you've got the boy and girl. Now I will say, it does crack me up. 1980, 81, whenever this came out, you would think they could have done a little more diversity. You got the little black kid right there. But here it's Tommy and Jenny. And oh no, I'm sorry, Alec is his name. All right, let's see what year this came out. Student's Guide to Computer Terms. Look at that. Holy crap. We bought one of these at a yard sale right here for my daughter about 8 years ago for $2 for her to play with. That is hysterical. Build your own. Oh, okay. So this one came out in, let's see the year, 1981. So look at that, back to back. And then last but not least, this one's thinner. We've got Supergirl, American Honda Presents. This is hysterical. If you're rolling single in a Pinto hatchback, you're going to stay single. Yeah. I paid $10 for an entire colorist issue of Batman. Oh, man, that would have been cool. I don't have... The only color guide that I have is from a cover of Quasar that I actually colored. I colored one of my covers to Quasar, and it was back in the early 90s before computers, so you colored it, then you had to do the coding and stuff, and I had to do all that, and that's the only color guide I have. All right, American Honda presents DC Comics Supergirl. This one does not have credit on the inside, so I don't know who did it. Maybe I'd have to ask Graham if this is Bob Oskner. Bob did Really Pretty Women. This kind of looks like it. I don't know. I don't believe there's credit. This one came out in 1983. So let's roll through this bad boy. Oh, the kids are sleeping. Oh, is the car going off the road? If I was Honda, I'd be pissed if that's supposed to be a Honda, because I don't know what the hell type of car that is. I'd be like, yo, guys, Honda here, we're paying you. Draw our cars that look like real cars, would you? Oh, this is copyright 1986. Wow. Well, it is on better paper. It's brighter. So now it looks like, I guess they're in the future, maybe? Man, I don't know who drew this. The inking. It's not Dick Giordano. I don't know who did any of the art in this thing. Might have to do a Google search. Bustin said, Penumbra is my waifu, by the way. All right. Well, thank you. Lots of stuff crammed onto these pages. The color, it's printed on nicer paper. Still feels like newsprint. It's not Baxter because it's not as heavy. But the color really pops. I think the Supergirl costume is a little different from the one in the previous book. I do want to say it's Bob. No, it's 1986. I don't know if Bob was still alive in 1986. So maybe, oh, man. I will have to Google search who drew this. Because it has a cartoony look to it as well. The kids, some of this stuff's cartoony. Joe Staten, I don't know. Joe Staten, Mando paper. Oh, it could be Mando. It could be. It's definitely not Baxter. Maybe it's Mando. I don't think it's Joe Staten. Joe's great at doing cartoony stuff, but the females don't look like Joe Staten to me. But you see this cartoony stuff right here. Somebody lives in a shoe. Is it just me, or when, growing up and even to this day, I'm fascinated by different structures and houses. Like, I could never live in a tiny house. I think they're cool looking, where somebody takes like a storage container and turns it into a house. I think that's really cool looking. And I'm sure if I'm way too lazy to do this, but if somebody could digitize my entire book collection, comics and everything, so I just had them and I could look at them on my iPad, I could probably live in a tiny house because then at that point I would, and if I went totally digital with my art, all I would need is an iPad and a printer. So I could probably do it. But I look at this house like a shoe and I would love to see somebody actually design what the inside of this place looks like. Because you look at it, it's tiny. I mean, this is the size of the people. But, you know, right here, your head would be touching the ceiling of the house. So if these people were like half this size and this door was half this size, then you could be like, oh, okay, I could see that. That's what I got to do. I have no room. Too many epic collections. Yeah, dude. Joe Orlando did some of the art, but there are a couple of artists. Oh, could be Joe Orlando. You know what? This could be Joe Orlando. Look at this face. Very pretty face right here. Even though she's angry, it's still a pretty face. I still don't know. I haven't read this in a long time. I have no idea what this has to do with Honda. Maybe we'll find out as we go through it. Apparently there are pigs in this world. And they're not cops. See what I did there? Yeah, I would love to get all my stuff digital. I mean, without having to buy it. Like, it'd be cool if you could be like, kind of like with DVDs, where you could, I know there's services where you can scan in your barcode to a DVD and maybe pay like $1.50, I think, or $2, and then get it digitally. I wish there was a service where I could just show like, no, look, I own this book, and then get it digitally for free. That would be awesome. Is it Jose Delbo? Did you Google search it? It's Jose Delbo. You missed an S. It's not Joe Delbo. It's Jose. I had Jose as a teacher just 2 years later in 1988 at the Kubert School. I love Jose's work. You know what? In the female faces, I can actually see that. Jose had a great run on Wonder Woman, inked by some Vinnie Coletta. There are high-speed book scanners around $500. Yeah, but if I remember correctly, you still got to sit there and turn the page. So, but that's not a bad idea. I mean, honestly, high-speed book scanner or set my phone up and just take a picture as I click through. But that would take forever. You guys have seen the library behind me. It's not small. But you know what? I could see this being Jose. Jose's great at cartoony stuff. He's great at the realistic stuff. Joe Orlando and Bob Oxner cover? Oh, man, I got to disagree. There's no way I buy that that's a Bob Oxner cover. Maybe the inside. Okay, so Devil Flyer, you said Jose Delbo. Did you Google search that? And then I could see this being Joe Orlando on the inside and Bob Oxner inks. I could easily see that. I could also see it being Jose as well. CGC says it. Huh. Oh, yeah, this cover. I'm sorry. You're right. This cover. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay, so I could see that for this cover. Totally. Joe Orlando, inked by Bob. I could see that for this cover. I was thinking of something else. Dave Hunt, Gasper Saladino. I don't see that. Yes, you set the book on the scanner and click. Tried the phone scanner, couldn't even get through one book. I might have to try that. I might have to see what a book scanner costs. I wouldn't do it with all my books because that would take forever, but I would definitely do it with some books just to lighten my collection some. CGC says it, huh? Mr. Cider says, do you watch anime? Not really. I don't watch anime anymore. Dave Hunt was great. I will agree with that totally. I'm going to flip my camera back around. Those are the three books I want to show you guys today. So let me do that. Hello. Put this down. Man, that sun is beaming in here today. Big time. Holy crap. Wow. Is there certain anime that you like? I have one that was based on a superhero character. Now I'm blanking on the character's name. It's so old. I have a VHS of it. That's how old the one is. I can't remember the name of it. It's back on my shelf. These giveaways are gems. Love Dave Hunt inks on Legion. That was probably over Kurt Swan, if I remember correctly. Excuse me as I put that camera back. That probably was. There we go. Oh, get my hand out of the way. There it is. Man, that sun is beaming in here. Holy crap. As much as I hate springing forward with the whole clock and stuff, because I like it. Well, I like it sunnier out. I hate it when it gets dark at like 6, 7 o'clock at night. So I like it when it's light out at about 8. But man, popping the clock ahead like that. Oh. But yeah, so these are the books we went through right there. This one, like you said, this one very well could be Joe Orlando and Bob Ostener on the cover. I'll take your word for it. Jose Delbo on the inside, looks like it. This one's definitely Ross Andru cover, inked by Dick Giordano. Love that Superman figure. See, I see stuff like that, and I literally do think I should just trace that off, literally the way it is, except put a First Man costume on it. And
I'm having trouble hearing.
Oh, shut up. I really look at this and I go, I should trace that off, put a First Man costume on them, ink it exactly as you see here. So not do any of the chrome or anything that I do, and then attribute it to Ross Andru and Dick Giordano. And that's what their First Man would look like. I think that would be super fun. Joe Orlando ran that office at DC. You are correct. So this was drawn by Kurt Swan and Vinnie Colletto on the inside. This one is Ross Andru, Dick Giordano on the cover with Jim Starlin, Dick Giordano on the inside. Great stuff right there, guys. And of course, don't ever forget. You cannot forget, if you haven't yet, go check out First Man Volume 2. You do not need to get Volume 1. This is a self-contained story. You won't be lost picking it up. You'll dive right into it. Of course, there is a tier where you can get Volume 1 as well. Get both books. Bart Sears variant covers are available. The Art of Andy Smith Black Book, 112-page hardcover, also available. I've been doing this for 31 years. Go get it now. Link in the description below. But bam! That's right. Bam! I need to get a sound effect. Billy Tucci has a bell. Shane Davis has that bam sound effect. I need to get something like that for sound effects. I don't have anything like that. Thank you guys for joining me. I've got to blow out of here. Somebody's got to take his daughter to work. She ain't driving yet. She could be. She's just a little too lazy to want to drive herself. So thank you for joining me. I'll leave you with one thing. If that doesn't start your day right, I don't know what will. I'll have to make one of those for the ladies, because I'm sure there's some ladies that watch my channel. So I'll have to make one of those for the ladies as well. Until next time, everybody, I'll catch you guys later. And remember, I'm always bringing this back.
I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. Go ahead, go with it. 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 Sexy girl. 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 Go ahead, go with it. Get your sexy girl.